Yan.
Yun.
Uh, yeah. So if you're the type of person who has a tendency na kapag meron kang idea, ikaw din mismo yung ano, parang naghahanap ng butas dun sa idea na yun, o kaya dinidiscourage mo yung sarili mo from pursuing the idea. That is actually a very normal thing, no? Kasi 70% of our thoughts are negative based on neuroscience. Tapos 90% of our thoughts are repeating. So if you look at the odds, di ba, of your daily life, just based on your thought patterns, madalas negative thinkers talaga tayo more than positive thinkers. Okay? So normal sa atin to actually doubt or be fearful or hanapan ng butas yung mismong ideas natin. Hanapan ng excuse for us not to push through with it. Okay? Um, pero one way to reframe that is you're not actually shooting down your ideas normally para hindi mo na siya ituloy. Kusa nating sinushoot down yung ideas so that there's an opportunity to prepare or to improve the idea before pursuing it. Yeah. So yun yung ano, isang useful na reframe doon na parang if you find yourself doubting your own ideas, it's a sign to prepare or to improve. Then if you see na yung more prepared version of yourself or more improved version of the idea, then you'll assess ulit ano na yung feelings mo around it. Okay? Now, if it's a never-ending thing, ay tipong ini-improve mo naman, tapos nagpe-prepare ka naman better, pero yung feeling around it is still the same. It may not be an idea kasi na kaya mong push by yourself. So nagiging indicator na siya. Kunyari, tinatry mo nang i-improve yung idea, tapos tinatry mo na din na mag-prepare better for executing it, pero andun pa rin yung continuous patterns of you shooting down the idea. Ibig sabihin, that idea most likely is hindi mo kakayanin mag-isa na i-execute. So that's a sign for you to look for support system. Iba't ibang klase, no? There are people more advanced than you who can mentor you or coach you. There are people naman na pwede kang i-hold accountable, kasabayan mo na nag-execute dun sa mga kailangan. There are people naman na can be part of your team members or ikaw mismo yung mas nagde-decide tapos you're delegating stuff to them para umuusad yung mga bagay. So, if things can be executed alone, um, pag in-improve mo o nag-prepare ka better, mag-iiba yung emotional state mo around the idea. Less likely that you'll shoot it down. If things cannot be executed alone, okay, ibig sabihin, kahit anong idea improvement or preparation yung gawin mo, the emotional state would still be on a negative, kumbaga, going against you kind of flow. So those are the indicators.
Thanks, Kage. Ito, pwedeng ipila pa sa questions kasi baka maraming may questions sa iba. Pero related, ano yung para sa inyo optimal na process for idea generation? Pwede nyo rin ikwento yung own process nyo for idea generation to execution. Ayun. Pero kung ano pwede namang later, pwede ipila siya kung yung ano pwede later na sagutin. Unless
Yeah,
na ano yung sagot.
kaya natin balikan na later. And so I see a lot of people here. And so if you could go on video, please do. Yan, para nakikita natin yung isa't isa ngayong Friday afternoon. And yeah, mas natutuwa ako kapag marami akong nakikitang mga tao, ganyan. And yung conversation is different than when I see your facial expressions and all. So yeah, if you can go on video, please do. This is an open space. Lahat ng pag-uusapan natin stays between the many of us, kung ilan right. Stays between the 9 of us right now. Okay? And feel free to ask any questions kasi Q&A session siya. Ask me anything session. So yeah, you can
Condo nyo.
go ahead, bro.
Ilang floors yung
Ayan.
condo nyo? Ilang floors?
Yeah.
Grabe, walang elevator.
Yeah, kwento ako ng onte. So I was in a call with Eugene earlier today and then nag-alarm yung fire alarm dito sa condo. So my wife was panicky. Akala niya may nangyari na something. And then we're on the 7th floor. So nag-pause kami ng call ni Eugene kasi kailangan kong bumaba for that. 7 floors, bumaba ako tapos pagbaba ng fire drill lang pala. Tapos walang elevator available. So umakyat ulit ako sa 7th floor. So, exercise mode yung nangyari sa akin kanina.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good thing somehow. At least alam na namin na kapag fire drill pala, pwede kang tumawag sa baba. May intercom naman pala kasi dito sa condo. So you can just call the lobby to ask, is this real or is this a fire drill? So if they say a fire drill, hindi ka na required bumaba.
Nice.
Anyway.
Buti.
Yeah. So yun, ikaw ba bro, may questions ka? Any curiosities in mind right now? Anything you're trying to sort out? Seems like a no?
Yeah, iba muna, iba.
Okay lang. Sige. Yeah, for other people who's here, kayo ba ay on listening mode lang or magtatanong din? So let us know.
I want to
We're
ask
open-
Kage.
Go, May. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Kage, I have a startup business. It's
Yeah.
only a year old. Actually, we are dealing with maintaining properties like we do plumbing, AC, repair, paint, yung lahat ng maintenance.
Mm,
Now,
mm.
ang nahihirapan kaming kumuha ng ano ng clients.
Mhm.
Actually, we start up the business because I lost my corporate job.
Gotcha.
And currently I have 2 staff. Yung isang
Mhm.
staff ko hindi nakakatulog, laging absent.
Gotcha.
Tapos yung pangalawa naman, helper, hindi siya masyadong marunong. Yun yung mga challenges din. And then currently I'm only doing organic marketing.
Mhm.
And I'm tapping also on my brother na malawak na yung network. So,
Yeah.
yun, hirap dahil sa how to make the business grow.
Mhm. Right. So, what have you tried before? What have you tried before to get clients?
I tried, for example, visiting yung mga real estate offices. I
Right.
got one order, and after that hindi na kasi masyado namang mababa yung gusto nilang ibayad. So we will not be generating income naman. So
Mm.
pahirapan na ngayon dahil masyado nang mababang magbayad yung mga customers, tapos yun nga mahirap din yung competition, maraming companies offering the same services.
Mhm.
So
Okay. Hmm, gaano ka gusto mo na ituloy yung business na 'to?
actually I believe the business is very promising dahil hindi naman mawawala ng maintenance sa mga bahay.
Mhm.
Plus we are dealing with expats here. Currently
Yeah.
we are in Dubai.
Yup.
And so yun lang, gusto kong makaano nga din how to grow the business.
Right. So you're doing this based on another country. For what country?
We're in Dubai.
So you're doing the business in Dubai mismo.
Yes, yes.
Right. So what I'm seeing here is you're going the B2B route, so business to business.
Can you elaborate?
So ang kausap mo dito ay basically mga developers mismo of the properties that you do the services for.
Mostly, halo-halo. May real estate, may yung mismong mga tenants, may mga owners ng mga flats. Halo-halo siya.
Mhm. Where have you found the most success? Because you've been doing this for a year. Sino yung mga pinakagusto mong clients out of all?
Yung mga owners na mismo or your tenant.
Okay.
Pero
So,
actually, ideally, it is the
Mhm.
property management companies kasi since kumpanya sila, mas madali silang singilin. Siguradong magbabayad, whereas kapag ka mga mga individuals, may tendency minsan hindi yan magbabayad.
ano yung reason ba't di sila nagbabayad?
They were saying for instance, yung isa lang naman nangyari yun, isang beses lang, hindi daw nag-work yung AC. Ganyan. We were happy to
Mhm.
go back and fix it again pero ayaw na niya. Tapos yung halimbawa, maraming units yung AC, dalawa. Yung isa
Mhm.
nag-work, yung isa hindi. Pero babalikan naman namin, ayaw na niya. So yung gumana, ayaw din niyang bayaran, nadamay na.
That makes sense. But that just happened once?
Yeah, once lang naman.
Okay, and then the rest of the clients are good?
Nagbayad naman, yes.
Mhm. Looking at this, mas mataas kasi yung competition ng B2B. And since you're a startup, you may not have enough resources to compete with that kind of competition.
Mm.
Therefore, yung other route is B2C, business to consumer, which is direct ka na talaga sa owners at sila yung merong need.
Mm.
That you can generate something na mas consistent as long as you're growing the network of those homeowners na you can service in a cycling manner. Kasi may rhythm, di ba, kung kailan kailangan nila yung ganong klase ng services.
Mhm.
But also, the services that you have mentioned as part of your offer, these are services na hindi ganun kadalas kailangan. Tama?
Yeah, when the need arises only.
Right. So meron ditong regular na maintenance, regular na check-up for these types of services, and meron ding mga on a need basis kapag merong nasira, kapag merong kailangan ayusin. So when you look at this type of business, meron tayong tinatawag na sales cycle. Sales cycle is gaano kadalas bibili sa'yo yung customers mo. So dahil yung need for these services ay hindi ganun kadalas, ibig sabihin, hindi rin ganun kadalas bibili yung customers mo.
Mm.
Kung hindi sila ganun kadalas bibili, kailangan mo ng mas maraming customers para maging stable yung business. Kasi hanggang sa umiikot na lang yung schedules nila, tapos predictable na lahat. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yes,
Um,
actually, so that means it takes time to really build the business.
it takes a lot of time to, kapag mas matagal ang sales cycle ng isang negosyo, mas matagal din yung oras na usually spent bago maging stable siya.
Mhm. What do you
So,
think in this kind of business, how long will it take? Like a decade? 5 years?
not necessarily, not necessarily. Meron namang ways to speed things up. But of course, speeding things up would require capital. Okay? So, imagine mo lang plumbing. Gaano kadalas kailangan yung plumbing kung sakaling regular checkups lang and walang yung mga as needed na fixes. Tuwing kailan kailangan i-check ang plumbing for properties?
Actually, it is only required when there is a problem that will arise.
Mhm.
Plumbing,
So,
AC only. AC, we could say quarterly. We have to check it quarterly. Maybe painting only when, for example, because it is being rented out. So only
Mhm.
when the tenant moves out.
right.
Or only if, so that means maybe like the shortest will be 1 year to 3
Yeah.
years.
Hmm. So looking at this, ang pinaka magiging mabenta mong service is AC. Kasi
Mm.
yun din yung pinakamadalas na kailangan nila.
Mhm.
So kung meron kang ipopromote, kung sakaling limited ang oras mo at saka ang capital mo, ang ipopromote mo muna is kung saan yung may pinakamabilis ka na cash flow na papasok. Kasi may
Mhm.
pinakamarami ka ng bibenta.
Mhm.
So kapag yun yung inuna mo, mas bibilis rin yung pag-stabilize yung cash that's coming in, mas makakabawi ka.
Okay.
Um, Depende na yun sa, yung time frame is depende sa, of course, there's yung lawak ng area na kaya nyong i-cover, di ba? Kasi kung
Mm.
gaano ka area, gano'n din karami yung population within that area, yung kaya nyong i-cater. Of course, there's still gonna be competition, there's still gonna be lots of conversations, but if it's a quarterly thing for AC,
Mm.
I would, and it can be a stable, yung offer lang na yun mismo, it can be stable in like 6 months.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah. Pero yung plumbing, which is like as needed, o kaya yung painting, which is like 1 year to 2 years, masyado nung matagal yun
Yeah.
para predict pa for now kung kailan siya magiging sought after na services na kayo mismo yung nagpo-provide.
Okay, Kage. Actually, looking back, we have done a lot of AC jobs, and I think na andun yung potential. Kasi nga lahat dito naka-AC since we are in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Dito kami sa mainit na lugar. So
Mm-hmm.
no one will survive here without AC.
Yeah. So you can build on top of that naman. Pero for now, if you're gonna focus your resources,
Mhm.
split siya if dun ka na sa nag-work for you right now. Pero focus on B2C, is direct to owner na connections. Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
One,
so maybe I could reach out to them offering we will have like an annual maintenance contract, something like that.
mhm. That's a good thing. Aside from that, property managers within specific developments, they can connect with you as the provider. Kasi pag property manager, sila yung may access sa owner.
Mm.
Multiple owners of different units, ganyan. Tapos, mas simple yung buhay nila, mas okay kung may isang provider na lang sila for multiple owners.
Mhm.
So if you can get in touch with a property manager, sila na yung bahalang mag-recommend sa inyo dun sa actual owners ng units for maintenance.
Right. We should actually streamline our service.
Yep. So that's an
Correct.
option. And getting direct to owner, pwedeng through a property manager, then that would connect you to owners. One to many.
Right. So I will just tap on somebody who could give me, because wala akong alam dun sa annual maintenance contract, I don't even have a template.
But that's easier to figure out now. Me?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Mhm. So do you have enough with this to take action with moving forward?
Well, I'm planning. Actually, I have already just recently hired an AC expert who had an experience
Mhm.
already, like for how many years, and so I have already like given him a visa. So now I have 3 staff actually. One is on like a per hire basis, like only when I hire him do I pay him. So I have that who is an AC expert, and I have another one I'm sending for training. And what will I do with the one who is just a helper who cannot actually it was my husband who hired him. I didn't want to hire him because I already saw that hindi siya
Yeah.
magiging will not add value. Actually,
Right.
if we will add value, we'll just just give the tools, pass the tools, something like that. Do simple plumbing service.
Right.
And actually for the sake of the business, it's like I don't want to keep him.
Mhm.
Because if one is sick, our operation will stop.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything. So, okay lang yun na gawin ko. I will just finish his visa. I will ask him to find another job.
Yeah. So, you have to talk to your husband too kasi parang siya yung nag-decide for that. Pero clearly, nakita mo naman na if you've given this person uh, many chances to prove value and you've given ample instruction and set ample expectations, okay lang if na-fail niya yung expectations na yon. For job naman, there are standards to meet. And if the standards are not met, then part talaga of having job is losing the job at the same time. And this is something na kumbaga, can for entrepreneurs kasi tayo yung parang pwedeng makonsensya o maguluhan or maging emotionally
Yeah.
conflicted with that, no? Pero that's also part of the decisions that we have to make. So it's not for the faint of heart, but it requires intentional communication. Yeah.
Mhm. Kage,
Yeah.
last question na lang.
Sure.
There is this big real estate company here in Dubai. And this property manager, actually, hindi ko alam kasi kung tama eh. Humihingi siya ng 15% commission from me. For example, if my quotation is 100, I'll give it for 115. The 15, I will give it to him. But it's like, it's not something like that is official. So
Yeah.
I was not comfortable, so I stopped it. I did not even start it. It was just a verbal. He gave me one project, but then I said, I'm not comfortable. So I will not honor our agreement anymore. Because I think that it's kind of bribery. What do you
Mhm.
think? Because he is charging, okay, I will provide the invoice for 115. But the 15, I will give it to him separately. So
Yeah.
it will be charged to the owner of the property.
Yeah.
What I did was correct, right? What do you think of that?
It actually depends. So any business, merong average of 10 to 15% na marketing budget. Okay? So yung 10 to 15% na yun 10 to 20% na marketing budget. Now, if someone would refer my services to another person and help me close that deal, ibig sabihin, I would not have to spend that much for my marketing. Ibig sabihin, instead na I would spend on my marketing materials, tapos igastusin ko yun, merong isang tao na nagbigay na sa akin ng opportunity mismo. Therefore, I don't spend the same. Okay lang na magbigay ako ng commission sa kanya or as the person who referred that. Kasi natipid ko na marketing budget ko.
So it is
So-
not equivalent to bribery, coach, because dahil we will be charging it to the landlord, for example, to the owner, that 15% additional. Because if my charge is only 100,
Yeah.
then I will add 15, and we will charge it to because he has several providers for sure, but he is going to give it to me because I'm giving him 15%.
Right. So the idea, it's only bribery, considered bribery if meron kayong system na nilalabag basically and nakakalusot ka because naglalagay ka. So, ang question on my end is, kahit may iba siyang providers, meron bang system na nagsaset ng rules na dapat merong mauna sa hierarchy ng providers whatsoever? Dapat ba nagsa-cycle kayo ganyan o dapat bigayan or meron ba talagang nakaset na rules for that? Na tipong in favor of you, binibreak niya yung system tapos nawawalan yung iba within the system.
But I could say, Kage, that he is doing it also to other providers. Of course, i-distribute niya yan. Otherwise, he will be asked why always this supplier is getting, for example. It will like raise a red flag. So
Right.
he has to have a lot of providers so
Right.
that he will not be questioned.
Right. But at the same time, it may not be considered bribery if wala siyang system talaga na nilalabag and you're not an accomplice to that. It may still be contradicting to your own values or morals. Pero bribery in itself kasi, it's actually something na pwede mo sampahan ng kaso. And pwede mo lang siyang sampahan ng kaso if meron talagang law or meron talagang rules na nabe-break because of that and you can prove it. So kumbaga, it's just a matter of the terminology, I guess. But if it still doesn't fit your own standards or values or ethics, it is actually way better for your peace of mind to let go of that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Regardless of what it is called. Basta hindi siya pasok sa values mo, mas mahalaga pa rin yung peace of mind mo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right, the second one. Thank
All
you.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All good. I love the questions, like real life experiences. Salamat, salamat. How about others from the group? Meron ba kayong questions? Pwede nyo ibato dito. Pwede nyo i-chat. Pwede kayo mag-unmute and we can have a conversation. You have 35 minutes before this call ends. So, pakisulit. Meron ba? Gosh, are you on listening mode? Okay, sige. Oh, for me, Annie, kailan po maaga yung one-on-one sessions na unlock ng September Clarity Challenge? Oh, that's gonna be for an email tomorrow. So, yeah. An email Saturday morning. Yun yung ano natin. Yun yung setup natin for that. The links will be there na. Specific yung emails natin. Depende sa kung ano yung na-unlock mo na rewards. Yeah. So you can join the secret community. You can avail the one-on-one session. And for those who want the 60-day mentorship with me, yun din. Pasok yan sa pwedeng avail tomorrow. Ayan. Sige. We've compiled that on the back end na din. So na-excite ako to actually execute on that. Sige. May other questions ba from the group? Feel free to ask. Any questions under the sun or under the moon or under Jupiter or kung ano pa man. Yeah, go ahead. Pag di kayo nagtanong, ako magtatanong. Tungkol sa ano, tungkol sa love life. Sobrang galing ng question. Do I have to be fully healed to be in a relationship? The quick answer is no. Sometimes you have to be in a relationship to be fully healed. Alam mo yung tipong hindi mo talaga matitest kung hanggang nasa na yung healing mo until you engage with a specific thing na iniiwasan mo while you were still healing. Example for me, like I have a nerve condition and I can't play sports. Especially nung first year of therapy kasi pain management pa lang yung ginagawa sa akin at that time. That was 2023. Ngayong 2024, strength conditioning na yung ginagawa sa akin with my nerve condition. Now, I'm not in pain anymore, pero ang advice ng doktor is mag-basketball na ako. Kaya bumili na ako ng bola, pero hindi pa rin ako nakapag-basketball. Pero may bola na ako dyan, may sapatos na ako, may jersey na ako and all. Kailangan kasing matest. So, ito lang, as an analogy, no? Ang pinapatest sa akin nung doctor/therapist ko is hanggang saan yung pain-free range of motion. Okay? Ibig sabihin, despite my condition and despite the healing that has already happened, kailangan pa rin matest kung hanggang nasan yung limits niya. Pain-free range of motion. So, merong movement na walang sakit. At the same time, alam ko kung hanggang saan yung parameters. So, that can be applied in a relationship as well. Anong klase ng relationship? Diba? Kung hanggang saan merong pang kirot kapag nag-engage ka in a relationship and all of that. Okay. I hope that makes sense. May follow-up question ba dito, Chels?
Meron, coach.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Kunyari, di ba? Parang, gets kasi sabi mo na kailangan mo siyang i-testing eh. Parang A/B testing, di ba? kung totoo ba yun or ini-imagine ko lang na nag-heal na ako from something.
Mm.
But like, the thing is, I don't know, it's really interesting when you start to like, be more self-aware. Parang, medyo nakita ko na yung patterns ko of the type of people that I attract. Like,
Yeah.
for example, I used to attract like emotionally unavailable men. Ganon.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like triggering me in a way kapag nakita ko na siya right now. Like, kunyari before, super unaware ako of it right now. And
Yeah.
the thing is parang, yeah, I feel like it's also, there also has to be a change in environment for me to be around people na medyo aligned sa gusto ko. But the thing is parang, I'm working on myself pa right now eh. Alam mo, may ganun ako right now, na parang kailangan ko ayusin yung career ko right now. Parang, nakita ko yung pattern ko na I always put my career ahead of that. Which kind of makes me think na, I don't know if that's trauma or something, or resistance to it, na parang hindi ko siya pinaprioritize. I want to prioritize, but like, the thing is like, I always have an excuse not to prioritize it. It's like, I have to make things work in my career, mga ganun.
Okay. So, that's a very valid point. Knowing your priorities, you work on yourself, that's part of your healing journey as well. Now, there's what we call proximity. That happens with any project na pwede natin i-pursue or any goal we want to achieve. Gaano kalapit yung possibility o yung opportunity sa atin. Okay? Magkaiba yung tipong, okay, there's a part of you that wants to pursue a relationship. And then at the same time, meron ka ng crush. Okay? Or at the same time, meron ding may crush sa'yo. Di ba? So magkaiba yun. As opposed to, you feel like you're ready to give it a try, pero hindi ka naman nagkaka-crush sa kung sino. Tapos wala rin naman nagkaka-crush sa'yo for whatever reason. Diba? So proximity, wala yung opportunity, hindi malapit sa'yo eh. So either sa part of you na ready na, it takes more steps and energy and time before ma-set up mo yung mga bagay na ma-pursue mo ulit yung ganong klase ng pag-test. So it may not be the season for it. It may be a season to prepare. So just gauging kung nasan ka ngayon, meron ba talagang actual opportunities na pwede nang i-pursue? Meron ka bang pwede maka-MU, di ba? Like mga talking stage, ganyan, di ba? Like, I'm not sure. Depends. And ikaw bahala kung gusto mong i-reveal dito. O gusto mong i-chat mo na lang ako at pag-usapan natin. But the idea is proximity. Even if you want something, hindi lang to sa relationships, ha? Pwedeng business goal, pwedeng career goal, pwedeng kumbaga, kung ano pa man, okay? If it's farther from you, the opportunity is farther from you, then it takes more resources to get there. Time, energy, attention, money, and probably support system ng network mo. But if the proximity of an opportunity is closer to you, ibig sabihin, it takes less resources na to pursue that. Mas low-hanging fruit siya. Diba? So kung manunungkit ka ng bunga, di ba? Kasi gusto mo yung bunga na, example, like hilaw na mangga. Bakit mo pipiliting sungkitin yung mas malayo pa kaysa yung andyan na agad sa mas malapit? Is this making sense as a concept for this?
Yeah, makes sense naman, makes sense.
So if there's something na nearer proximity, you can test the waters. If wala pa naman as of now, I mean, it's totally fine to focus on what you're usually focused on, which is career and like healing and growing yourself. Walang mali doon whatsoever.
Okay, thank you for validating my concern.
Now here's the thing. Dagdagan mo ng konti. If meron ng nearer proximity and you're still finding it hard to step into it kahit low-hanging fruit na, then that tells a lot about the quality of your healing.
Ganon. So hindi ka, so may resistance doon pag merong opportunity and I'm resisting it.
Yes.
So anong gagawin ko if let's say ganun yung scenario?
Not all resistance is bad. It's just a data point. So it may be a good thing to reflect on, why am I resisting? What's the reason for this kind of resistance? Because that will reveal more into who you are and how you think and what you believe and bakit ganun yung sistema ng feelings mo around that area. So it's a prompt for continually discovering more of yourself and adjusting. It's not a bad thing. It's a data.
So it's not a bad thing to have high standards or like,
Yeah.
kailangan ko bang ibaba yung standards ko? Do I have to like tone myself down or like?
Yeah, here's the thing. Okay. From what I've experienced, hindi naman ako ganun katanda pa sa buhay, pero feeling ko sobrang daming beses. Okay? So, medyo may validity itong sasabihin ko. Okay? High standards are usually an excuse. It's not bad to have those, pero it's a way to repel people for whatever reason. It may be because you're not ready to enter into a relationship, so you're setting the standards so high. Ang narrative usually done is like, ito yung standards ko, I'm waiting for the right person who fits the bill. Okay? However, in relationships, especially if it goes to marriage, the goal is to grow together. Ibig sabihin, if you're aiming to meet a person na nasa best version na siya ng sarili niya, malamang di ka na niya kailangan sa buhay as well. Kasi best version na siya ng sarili niya eh. So, relationships, one of its crucial aspects is to be at your most vulnerable, to be at your most intimate, to be at your most, kumbaga, raw version of self. Di mo magagawa yun with any other person unless you are in love with the person and that person reciprocates that love. Hindi ka magiging super raw version, super intimate, super vulnerable version of yourself unless you really have that sense of commitment sa isang tao. That happens in romantic relationships. That is also a big room for revealing the things na hindi nare-reveal sa ibang tao, pag-usapan yung mga bagay na hindi mo pag-uusapan with other people, mabago yung mga bagay na hindi mo napapansin sa sarili mo by yourself. So, relationships are meant to make those two people in the relationship better over time. So, kung sakaling best version na yung hinahanap natin, which is what we usually do kapag nag-set tayo ng standards, o meron tayong mga type, di ba, or yung mga ganyan na criteria. Ang hinahanap natin is yung okay na, yung solid na. However, I believe na it's part of your role in the relationship to help that person achieve that state. So if ganun na yung state niya, malamang hindi ka na niya kailangan sa buhay. Or kung ganun na yung state mo, malamang hindi mo na rin kailangan ng other people. That makes sense? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like that grow together type of love, you know, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a natural thing for couples to grow together as long as they give it the space. It's an inevitable thing. It will happen. Depende kung anong pacing, depende kung magulo, depende kung maayos, but growth actually happens. So, yeah. Cheers to love life.
Thank you.
Thank you, girls. That's a question. Yeah. Another question here. Coach, do you have any idea kung nasa magkano dapat yung maging puhunan if magsisimula ng drop shipping business? Saka ano po kaya maganda na product na ibenta online? Nag-aaral din po ako ng FB ads, kaya gusto ko rin magamit knowledge ko sa pag-ads. Right, there's different layers to this. You can actually start a dropshipping store for 5K. I've seen offers like that. Of course, the quality of the products and all of those, hindi ko alam how that works. I haven't tried it for myself at that price point. Yeah, but 5K is like the lowest I've seen. Of course, di ko na try, so di ko alam gaano ka legit. Okay? Kung ano yung klase ng products, depende rin. Okay? But this is something that calls for market research kasi. Okay? When we say market research, you are expanding yung data na tinitingnan mo para makita kung nasan yung patterns at trends ng kung ano yung binibili ng mga tao, what they are willing to spend for, and how frequent they're willing to spend for that. Kapag nag-imbento ka ng sarili mong product, merong advantage yun in a sense na pwede kang maging first to market. Okay? Pag first to market ka, so ikaw pa lang yung ganun, wala kang competition. Pero of course, lahat rin ng mga initial na pagkakamali with that specific product, ikaw lang rin yung makakaranas. Okay? An advantage naman of being kahit hindi ikaw yung first sa market, meron ng competition. Okay? Pwede mong i-improve kung ano yung hindi ginagawa ng competition mo. So you can enter into a market with a bit of an advantage over your other competitors. So this is a lot of research pa. Okay? Starting a business, whatever type of business, if wala kang enough na data, usually you'll malalaman mo na lang na napasubo ka, okay? Sa certain types of commitment na minsan yung iba kaya mong panindigan, yung iba masasayang lang talaga yung resources. So this is actually part of what I'm being paid for. So I'm a consultant for fintech companies, but I do consult with other businesses from time to time, depending on my free time. Pero yung main clients ko talaga nasa fintech industry. And I used to be an owner of an agency. So our agency focuses on market research. So even before, example, some of our clients before, even before they invest in a business in the Philippines, they would spend like 3M to 8M on market research just so we can gather the data for them so they can make yung decisions. And sometimes they've spent like 4M na, 5M na, tapos siya nila makikita, hindi pa timing para bumuo tayo, balikan natin to in 5 years. That's how like the big players usually go about it. If mga ganong companies na meron ng enough resources to spare, tinitreat pa rin nila as sacred yung market research at yung paghahanap ng data before mag-decide, especially if it's a long-term business commitment. Tayo mismo, we should embrace that practice as individual entrepreneurs. Now, we don't make decisions na based lang on kung ano yung nakikita natin sa paligid. We want accurate statistics and data and market research. There's ways to do that by Googling, looking at the forums, like tingnan mo yung Reddit. There's different data sources na you can use for free. There's ChatGPT as well. There's different AI tools you can use. But the initial research needs to happen, kahit ganong level. Next, you can ask people na andun na sa industry na yun. Na nasimulan na nila mismo mag-dropshipping, nasimulan na nila mag-FB ads habang nagda-dropshipping, anong klase ng mga market yung sinaserve nila, magkano kinikita nila, all of these, pwedeng mangyari yan sa kwentuhan. So you're documenting, you're getting those data. Nagkakaroon ka ng mas malinaw na idea what those things are. Of course, if someone is selling something related to dropshipping or teaching you how to build an online business na dropshipping yung ginagawa, syempre, ang makukuha mong data sa kanya initially is lahat biased sa kung ano yung binibenta niya. Di ba? Syempre, kung yun yung produkto ko, tapos bibenta ko sa'yo, bakit ko sasabihin lahat ng mali? Bakit ko sasabihin lahat ng butas? Bakit ko i-reveal lahat ng mga stuff na kailangan pang pag-isipan, di lalo hindi ka bibili sa akin. So minsan, delikado din na nakikinig lang tayo with people who is selling something related to what they are promoting. Okay? So nakakatulong yun in some sense, pero in two ways. Okay? Compare. Comparison point lang yun. Hindi ka pa agad dapat mag-decide pag makakita ka ng ganun. It's just one of your data points to compare with other types of experiences. Pangalawa, if you find a mentor or a coach who's selling something na ganun, pero willing siya na pag-usapan lahat ng mga pagkakamali, willing siya na pag-usapan lahat ng risk, willing siya na pag-usapan lahat ng mga things that could go wrong as you're pursuing that is a mentor worth their salt. That is a person na mas mapagkakatiwalaan kasi okay lang kahit i-risk niya na hindi ka bumili sa kanya, basta truthful yung mabibuild niya na expectation mo for the business that you will build kung sakaling magpapatulong ka sa kanya. So, iwasan mo yung hype. Iwasan mo lahat ng mga puro good points lang yung nakikita with what they are sharing, especially if they're selling something related to that or what you're interested in. Applies to dropshipping, applies to any type of business. So talk with as many people as possible na immerse na doon, mga mismong practitioners, mga people na mas advanced, but be careful na mabalanse mo yung points of view. If puro positive yung narinig mo, try to ask for all the mistakes and kung ano pa man. If puro negative naman yung narinig mo, try to ask for, okay, what are they grateful for? Ano yung mga stuff na nagbago sa buhay nila just by trying it, even if mahirap and chaotic and magulo. Okay? For now, yun yung tip.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Coach,
Yeah.
hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello po. Yeah, hello coach. Thank you very much kasi good thing you shared it with me. Kasi alam mo po coach, nasa BPO industry kasi ako ngayon. I tried last year mag-transition to freelancing though hindi siya nag-succeed. So ngayon I'm trying another shot. I'm trying to give it another shot by slowly
Yeah.
transitioning. Nasa BPO habang magda-dropshipping ako. Once I already have the results sa FB ads, pwede kong ipakita sa future clients pag may clients na sub sa BPO and yung that path coach. And very valuable yung mga shinare mo sa akin actually. And good thing din coach na nabanggit mo na hindi lang POV nung nagbibenta. Kasi sa pool yun coach yung sa part na
Hmm.
sa pool. Yung sa part na someone is actually pitching me. And syempre hindi niya nga po sinasabi sa akin what could went wrong. 'Di ba? Kapag kumuha ako nun. Syempre kasi bias niya yun eh. Hindi ako bibili. In fact, nira-rush niya pa nga ako na bibigyan kita ng discount pag kinuha mo to ngayon. Ay mga ganun.
Right.
So napapost din ako. Napapost din ako doon coach na, hey, teka lang, magtatanong muna ako sa iba. Ano
Right.
yung mga negative points and ano. Kaya yeah, I'll take the advice coach. Thank you very much.
Solid. Thank you, Divine. I love it takes courage para to bet on yourself in building a better future. But we live in a world filled of opportunities right now, especially post pandemic. So it may not always be easy to figure out, but it can be simpler naman as long as we can keep our emotions in check. So one good tip dito, kahit sinong kausap mo that's selling something, kung minamadali ka niya, mas kailangan ka niya kaysa kailangan mo siya. If you can keep that in mind, you'll save yourself from a lot of wrong purchases or hindi satisfying na mga bagay na paglalaanan ng pera. So yun, if may nagbebenta sa'yo ng something tapos minamadali ka niya, ibig sabihin mas kailangan ka niya. Mas kailangan niya yung benta kaysa kailangan mo yung ino-offer niya o kailangan mo siya. Okay? So yun. Right. We have 14 minutes before we end. Okay. Is there a question here, Lois? Parang wala naman. All good, all good. Sige. From Hazel, pagkakaintindi ko kay Kage is kapag naghahanap ka ng partner, you find someone na tutulungan kayo to build each other up. Yup, nice comment. Nakatawa may rainbow emoji pa ni. Meron pa bang other questions? Okay. What are your thoughts, Kage, to what some motivational speakers say to never work for money? Still practicality versus passion dilemma pa rin. Yeah, I get this. Money is a byproduct of value. Okay? The more you chase money, baka ma-miss mo yung opportunities on how to create value. So, if you miss the opportunity to create value, palayo yung pera sa'yo. Okay? So, I don't really care so much about the motivational speakers and kung ano yung sinasabi nila. But that's the principle behind it. No? The money is a byproduct. It's a result, okay, of what you are building to generate the value that is equivalent to that kind of money. So, if you are generating value, pwedeng ipagpalit yun sa pera. Pero pag ang hinahabol mo ay pera, madalas nakakalimutan kung paano intentionally mag-create ng value. Okay? So example with what Divine was saying kanina, na parang minamadali siya ng other person. Yun is a type of chasing the money. If I was that person, hindi ko mamadaliin si Divine. I would just ask more questions about her situation. Kailan yung timeline na tingin niya mas ready na siya? Babalikan ko siya at that timeline and check ulit if ready na siyang bumili at that point. Now, mas sureball yun or mas malaki yung chances nun that Divine would actually buy from me if that's my offer. Pero, it's money at another point in time. What I'm creating there is a space for Divine to think about her dreams and kung ano yung mas kailangan niya muna i-prioritize at paghandaan for now. That's value. That's a kind of value. So yeah, hindi ko kilala kung sino yung mga motivational speakers na nagsasabing never work for money. Pero, pwedeng you're not working for money pero hindi ka rin nag-work for value. And therefore, you're still repelling money. Okay? If you work for creating as much value as you can, money just flows papunta sa'yo. It's impossible not to attract it. But any other priority, usually, kung hindi ka nakakapag-create ng value for others, it will repel money. Kahit hindi money yung mismong hinahabol. Kunyari, if it's status, kunyari, like, I'm chasing status kung ano yung magiging tingin sa akin ng mga tao, dapat maging prestigious ako, maging sikat ako, maging lodi ako, maging ganyan. Usually, I will repel people from paying me. Kasi, ang makikita lang nila is yabang. Ang makikita lang nila is angas. Ang makikita nila is I'm just bragging about things and all that. And that makes people sick. If I'm, but you got the idea. If I'm chasing anything else, pero not creating value, okay, money is farther from me. I hope that makes sense. May follow-up question ba dito? Okay. So let's relate it a bit with passion. Okay? Mas madaling mag-create ng value with something you're passionate about. as opposed to something na hindi ka naman talaga interesado with in the first place. Okay? So, passion is a good kickstarter for the initial value that you can create. So it's not profit versus passion. They can go hand in hand if you know where to focus. Profit man yung kailangan mo, and then may idea ka sa passion mo, if you combine that for creating value, you're all good, money-wise. And Seven, you made that so nice, creating value would attract money. Yeah, this is true. I saw it in my brother's life. Yep. It's just, it's just how the world works. How the world works. Ayun. So yeah, hindi magkalaban yung passion tsaka yung profits. They can go hand in hand. Pero ang focus lagi is create value. Yeah. Ang dami pang dynamics of creating value. I may not have enough time to actually dive into that. But I'll share this. There's inherent value. So ito yung natural na nasa iyo. Pag nakikita ka ng mga tao, kausap ka nila, ka-interact ka nila, nararamdaman na kagad nila yung ganong klase ng value from you. It's very natural sa'yo. It's part of your personality, part of the way that you think, part of you absorbing information, learning, expressing, all of that. Kung sino ka ngayon, may value na kagad. Okay? Regardless kung na-pinpoint mo na yun, na-put mo na yun into words o hindi, it's usually other people who sees that. Even comments like, "Uy, pag nakikita kita, gumagaan yung pakiramdam ko. Uy, pag nag-share ako sa'yo ng kwento, alam ko nakikinig ka talaga. Pag kailangan mo ng problema, ikaw yung nilalapitan." Different quirks, different quips like that from other people. That's kind of feedback to your inherent value. So lahat ng tao merong value. Ibig sabihin lahat ng tao can have access to money if they can utilize yung inherent value nila. And then there's another type of value na kinecreate pa natin. Okay, so yung created value, yun yung binabanggit ko kanina. So makikreate mo yung value na yun by knowing kanino mo ibibigay. Kasi kung ano yung mahalaga sa kanila, i-adjust mo yung value na yun. Okay? So I can be selling the same thing. Okay? I can be selling the same thing, but if I'm talking to different people, I can create different kinds of value to sell the same thing. Di na ako lalayo. Consulting services. Okay? So I do business consulting. I help business with their systems and kung ano man yung nagpe-prevent sa kanila from growing. Okay? Ini-spot ko yung gaps na yun tapos sinusort out namin, tina-troubleshoot namin. So example, ang kausap ko is a CEO. Okay? Kung CEO yung kausap ko, paano ko bibenta yung consulting services? I would talk about the vision. Kasi as a CEO, ang mahalaga sa kanya is the longevity and the continual na paglago nung business nila alongside with the vision that they have as a company. Lalo na kung yung CEO na yun, siya rin yung founder. Kasi baby niya yung business na yun eh. Mahalaga sa kanya na magpatuloy kung ano yung pinaghuhugutan niya, kung bakit niya binuo yung business at bakit niya nagpapatuloy at bakit niya gustong palaguin in the first place. So if I'm talking with the CEO, I'll tell him along the lines of, it seems like we can accomplish bigger things together here that we cannot accomplish alone. Seems like the work here is bigger than both of us. So it's not about me, it's not about my services, it's about yung vision nila. And ano yung pwede naming magawa together with that vision. That's how I would sell to a CEO. If I'm talking to a CFO, the finance officer, I would talk about, ito yung mga gastos ninyo na hindi na natin kailangan moving forward if we get this sorted out. Ito yung magiging cash flow projections nyo, tataas yung profit ninyo ng ganito, yung expenses ninyo minimize ng ganito. Okay. Yung assets ninyo na ganito, mas mga gamit natin siya long term na ganito, and ito yung magiging plano natin so that we can mitigate the risk for itong mga products na to. But it's the same thing. I'm selling consulting services. Okay? If I'm talking to a COO, okay, which is the operations manager, the one who's handling lahat ng mga day-to-day stuff, lahat ng management hanggang sa grassroots level, di ba? Like yung pinaka rank and file employee nila, I would talk about productivity. I would talk about trainings on how to maximize kung ano yung output na nagagawa ng employees nila. I would talk about paano niya i-manage yung managers nila so the managers can actually manage the people really well. I would talk about getting a feedback system and like yung communication system, hierarchy kapag i-escalate yung mga concerns and stuff. I-minimize ko yung time, energy, attention na kailangan niya to handle the organization. But it's still consulting services. If you can find what is valuable sa kausap mo, you can create the value na kailangan nila. Kahit hindi mo pinapalitan masyado kung ano yung binibenta mo in the first place. Is this making sense? Sorry, masyado ako nag-passion mode dun sa explanation ko of things, thinking about the time. I still have 4 minutes, but I hope kahit mabilis yun, it's making sense sa inyo. I don't want to confuse anyone here if that's too wide or too deep for like the last 3 minutes. I need your responses, please. Narinig nyo ba ako? Naghang ba ako? Walang ibang naka-video on? I want to know what's your response. Meron ba? There's a question from Anne. If you want to become a consultant, we have to determine saan yung strength namin sa vision, future tingers, sa present, or helping them sa day-to-day so they can get sa future they want. Oh yeah, I mean, of course, consulting is just one thing. There are different types of services pa. What matters there is Okay. Ano ang valuable sa kausap mo? Kaya ba ng ino-offer mo na i-meet yung value na yun? If kaya, then isa-switch mo yung angle of the conversation towards what is important to the person that you're talking to so that you can bridge the gap of decision making dun sa sales. Yun. Yeah. Sa ngayon, yeah, Kaya na-appreciate ko talaga tong session na to. Kahit tambay lang ako, may mga na-learn or nare-relearn. Yeah, bro, we all need reminders and new learnings from time to time. Ako din mismo, alam niyo, parang yung mga question nyo, these are things na alam ko naman. Like, nasasagot ko naman and stuff. Pero kahit ako, nare-refresh ako eh. Nare-remind ako dun sa mga lessons I've learned through the years and natutuwa ako na nare-remind ako dun sa mga stuff na to. It's a good way to reinforce na yung mga bagay na inaral ko dati, hindi naman pala sayang lahat. Yung mga ganun. So, yeah. Iba na rin kasi yung season of my life where I'm not in the hustle mode. Hindi na katulad dati na parang todo talaga aral-aral everyday and all that immersive experiences, paramihan ng client. Hindi na ganun yung mode ko ngayon. So even just having sessions like this with you, it's equally helpful for me na ma-remind of the basics, ma-remind of like how to simplify yung approach sa iba't ibang mga bagay. Yeah. I'm thankful for the time that we're spending here. We're almost done. 1 minute before tayo mag-end. Yeah, I just wanna invite people to go on video para may picture tayo for remembrance. Ayan, I wanna remember this lovely day. Ayan. Tapos magdi-dinner na rin kami maya-maya. Ayan. So if you could turn on your videos and let's have a picture. I'll wait for a few more seconds. Ayan. Set up muna kayo, nagkikilay pa yung iba, nagsusuklay pa, nagje-gel ng buhok. Gel no? So 90s. Wax naman, wax. Di ba?
Tapos na,
Napag
biyak na NSYNC, bro.
So, sobrang 90s ng gel. Wax na pala tayo ngayon. Eh, meron ng clay di ba? Clay. So, okay, sige. Let's take a pic in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ayan, solid. Maraming salamat sa oras nyo. It's a lovely Friday evening. Enjoy your weekends and take care always. Kung gusto nyo i-share yung learnings nyo sa iba pang mga tao, please do. Let's
Thanks,
make
Kage.
Salamat, Kage.
Thank
Diba?
you.
Thank you, Kage. Thank you,
Yeah.
Coach. Thank you.